Hi, Ron. I'm Leo, and for the last 7 years, I've been working for Google, building and improving various products across Search, YouTube, G+, Spaces, and Reply. In my years at Google, I've been part of a team shaping and successfully launching products with really skilled people. And I've had the opportunity to see how people with true impact have been delivering their craft. Today, I want to share how you can build impactful products in a framework I call EPIC. This framework is built in my own experiences and observations of successful product people. Let's get started. It starts with the why. Back in 2016, I was working with the product team developing Spaces, a consumer product aimed at solving the friction of organizing activity with a group of friends. Our hypothesis was email is too slow and group messaging can be too chaotic. How might we build a better experience? As someone fairly new to product development, I sat down with our director and asked him, what should I focus on to bring the most value to the product? He said somewhat cryptically, focus on the action that closes the gap between what the product is today and what it promises to be. It sounded like good advice, but I didn't really understand which action to prioritize. Should I brainstorm new features? Should I dive into backlog grooming? There are so many potential actions that I was at a loss, and before I could ponder further, we were in full launch mode and the luxury of choice went away. Fast forward a couple of years, and with several years of product experience under the belt, I reflected on what are the right actions to close the gap. My answer, it's not about the actions, it's about the right behaviors. You might wonder why I'm focusing on behaviors. As product people, having good skills is a crucial thing to have. It doesn't really matter which discipline you are. If you're in UX or in product, you still need to be skilled at what you do. But I see skills as the tools you use in your trade, and behavior as the knowledge of the craft that will help you understand what to build. Imagine building a small shed. You'll need a lot of different tools to build it. You need a hammer, you need a saw, other things that I don't know the name to, but the knowledge of what and how to build, that's the behaviors. So just like tools, your skills become worn or even obsolete over time. Yet your knowledge will enable you to consistently build a shed, or as we product people often do, iterate and build a better, larger, and ultimately more impactful shed. Over the years, I've worked across multiple product teams, across markets and regions, and collected notes on what are the top behaviors. I've seen product people with a high degree of impact, and I try to codify that in what I call EPIC behaviors. So these are the 5 EPIC behaviors. The first one is execution. So that's your ability to unblock others and have a bias towards action. Regardless of your experience, ability to execute will always serve you well. Did you get a simple question that's blocking someone? Give it a quick reply. Don't let it stew in your inbox for days. I learned this the hard way while I was working on a small unannounced project. I got an email from a user about a bug late Friday. And as it didn't seem critical, I left it. When I checked my mail again on Sunday, it has cascaded into a bug that brought the whole service down. Turned out that if I've asked our engineering to look at it Friday, it wouldn't have cascaded into a monster. The second is prioritization. Prioritization is your way of optimizing the product's chance of success. E.g., what will you not focus on to ensure that products are successful? It's related to execution, and it tells you what to execute in which order, keeping the product's vision as the clear outcome. It's so easy to get lost in busy work, updates, stakeholder updates, bugs, backlog, but taking a pause to figure out what drives the most impact helps to keep you and the team focused on delivering that outcome. Remember, it's not proper prioritization if there are no trade-offs. The third behavior is influencing others. It's not enough to just share why something is important in a presentation. You need to empathize and understand what's on the line for your stakeholders. I've barged into feedback sessions with the users and asked them a lot of what's on my mind, things that I keep thinking about, without taking the time to reflect on what are their frustrations. How are we failing them with our product? Similar with internal stakeholders. When your leadership asks to accelerate a launch, it's easy to get frustrated with how it messes with your elegant plan. Stopping to reflect, respectfully asking why, and explaining which trade-offs have to be made in meeting the new timeline will serve you well. The fourth behavior is communication, ensuring everyone is aligned on the vision. and understanding the trade-offs and prioritization and clearly understand what to execute towards. Communication is the grease in successful product team. It keeps friction as low as possible. Core here is understanding everyone's personal style, be authentically yourself, and make sure to keep everyone in the loop. My current team has a motto that I love, and it's basically no surprises. It keeps everyone honest on potential problems, and it really helps to rally around the biggest challenges. The fifth and last behavior is curiosity. This is the most important one. Emulating your inner 3-year-old and asking why drives better product decision and product impact. It comes naturally in the product discovery phase, but I would argue it can be used across all the phases of the product lifecycle. Why is our pricing like this? Why can't our user tweak the UI? Why can't they export their data to a floppy disk? Some have obvious answers, like there are no more floppy disks, but where there are no good answers, your instinct should be to dig a bit deeper. So those are the 5 epic behaviors. And I believe adhering to those, or at least reflecting on those, will bring the most impact to a product person. These are not strict guidelines. These are just things and behaviors to reflect on. And especially as you work with others and reflect on how their performance is, you can tell and see, is someone executing towards these behaviors. I've purposely not given them any priority or an order, as every role and organization is different. But if you ask me, I would argue that starting with execution and curiosity typically leads to the most short-term impact. All right, in summary, I want to just quickly highlight the 5 different areas and some short tips or some short ways to kind of address them. And it starts by, first of all, focusing on, it's all about the behaviors, not the skills. You should have team members, and your own performance should be measured towards what are the behaviors you're demonstrating. And you can stay epic by focusing on execution, by unblocking with grace. Prioritization, which is enabling the great filter and being the filter for others, but also for what you want to do. Thirdly, influencing others, making sure you are wielding soft powers. Do people trust you? It's a good way to say that. Could be external, could be internal as well. And the fourth part is communication and making sure to get your story straight and having the same story, or flexing the story, but having the same story in essence. That's extremely important. So tailor, but keep consistent. And last point is stay humble. You don't know everything in the world. I don't know anything in the world. And it's very important to stop and ask the question, why? So there's a lot of great techniques like empathic listening or the 3 whys. They're all great in keeping you and everyone else around you curious. And thank you for taking the time to listen to me today, and hope you have a great day.